Okay, well, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I hope my pictures of my children in the back.
No, that's fine. I have the California flag and like my messy room in the background, so.
Not a problem.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too. Yeah, good weekend, so ready for the week.
Oh God, yes. I was just relaxing. Now, like, let's get this work done.
Yes. Okay. Well, first of all, it's an honor to be speaking with you. You've done so much. I really hope I'll be like you one day.
I still have a lot more to do.
Okay. Well, let me get my questions up.
Okay.
Here they are. Okay. So let's start from the beginning. So what led you to become a self-acceptance advocate, and how do you empower other women?
Well, it started when I was younger. So I've always had issues with my weight growing up. And, my father put me on my first diet when I was 10. And he always wanted me to be skinny like my sister. And there was times that I was, growing up because my sister, I'm the youngest. So she's the middle and she was a premature baby. So I was growing up wishing, why couldn't I be born premature to be skinny like her? And then it wasn't until my grandmother, Grandma Sarah, she just took me underneath her wings because, curvy woman her whole life, and was like, you have to embrace yourself and love who you are and just do what you have to do for you. So that's one thing that really instilled within me. And then as I got older, and I really just wanted to just dive in and just really show the people like who I was and that I love my body and, what my grandmother building my confidence all these years, when I was growing up into a teenager to early adult, I really just came into my own. And then it wasn't until I had my second child that I was at the biggest size I've ever been, lost like 60 pounds. And there was nothing for curvy women to me at that time, this isn't in 2010, that showed the lifestyle of a curvy woman. So, and a woman saying, I'm proud of who I am. I love my body. Yes, I have these thunder thighs, but I love who I am. And I love the finer things in life. And that to me, what was missing. So that's one thing I said, well, this is who I am. So there's other women out there that have to feel the way I feel. And that's when I just, prayed about my purpose, and God told me what my purpose was. And that's what I've been doing ever since.
Amazing. Okay, so then why did you just decide to start Kurves Magazine?
Luxe Kurves Magazine. I just came back from New York Fashion Week Plus, this show I did in 2015, and I left another publication, and I didn't know what I was going to do. I had to take a step back to rebrand and see what I was going to do. Everyone around me was like, Brandee, launch your own magazine. You've done it. You build other ones. And I was like, no, it's a lot of work. I was just like, let me figure, I'll put on shows and events, but I don't know if this is, something I want to do. And then I prayed and I was like, God, whatever you told me to do, I'll do it. I'll just be obedient. I'm not going to argue with you. And then I woke up the next morning and I said, Luxe Kurves Magazine, the only upscale publication for curvy plus size women. And I launched it within a month. So it was born October 1st in 2015. And the difference between Luxe Kurves Magazine and any other publication out there is we are a lifestyle publication. We show that just because you're curvy and plus size doesn't mean you don't love to travel. You don't have relationship issues. You don't you do have politics concern about what's going on in the world. You have issues with your children, being a single mother or father and being of color in this United States that, we have to talk about, and that's one thing I have for Luxe Kurves. We don't sugarcoat anything. And I always tell my contributors, don't sugarcoat anything. This is your stance. You write about it and you speak about it because there's other people like you who feel the same exact way.
Yeah. And what has been some of the feedback you've received from readers of Luxe Kurves?
That it's refreshing to see honest people write how they feel and not try to sugarcoat to fit what everyone else in media is doing or to go along with the norm. I've never been the type of person to go along with the clique. I didn't believe in cliques in high school. I'm a grown ass woman. I ain't gonna believe in cliques now. So I never been the one to go with everybody else, because I feel like I have my own point of view and how I feel. And I want that to be portrayed. And that's what a lot of readers have said. Like, you guys have your own point of view. You're not going along with everybody else. And it's refreshing.
Amazing. Okay, and then so let's talk a bit about the fashion industry. So what are your thoughts on like diversity and size representation, or lack thereof? And what do you think about the future? Are you optimistic in the direction it's heading? Do you still think there's a lot of work to be done?
We all do have a lot of work to be done. When I did New York Fashion Week Plus in 2015, that was the first time anyone did a full week of plus size fashion. That was just for plus size fashion. Yeah, there's other events going on in the industry, but I was major doing it during New York Fashion Week, because I said, in order to get the respect we deserve, you have to do it during the actual New York Fashion Week to say we deserve to be here. And I feel like once I did that, everybody else in the world started including plus size models, and which was great, but you're not giving me the recognition and the appreciation that I deserve, because it was because of that show.
Yeah.
Catapult everything else. Because think about it. If you go back to 2015, see the show, after that, you start seeing these major designers using more plus size models, which I'm grateful for. But at the end of the day, we still have a long way to go. We have a tremendous long way to go. It should not be, oh my God, they're finally using plus size models. No, it should be the norm. It should be, to me, it should be required. 50% of your models should be plus size and other regular size, because not everyone in America is a size 6, 8, or 0.
Yeah, it should be new.
Size 16. You know, this should be mandatory. I feel like it should be mandatory that your models need to look like real women.
Yeah. And then actually, one of my other questions a bit later, but since we're on the subject, tell me about how you, like, producing the New York Fashion Week Plus, like, how did they come to be? What challenges did you face? And like, what was the response and feedback you got?
The major challenges that I faced at that time was the lack of support, the lack of funding, and that show came out of pocket. You know, my mother invested in that show. It was right after my father passed away. So she took some of his life insurance money and invested in the show.
Wow.
And made sure a lot of things happened. And at the time, my then business partner as well, you know, so it was a lack of support from major media, from our own industry. But when you are determined and when you have God on your side, believe you me, I don't know how it got pulled off, but it got pulled off.
Amazing.
And we broke barriers, and that's just what it is. And that's just how a lot of things happen for my company. Like, I always tell people, you know, God leads me what to do, how to move, and things like that. I meditate and pray daily on, you know, and in my prayers and things, I always say, God, tell me what you want me to do with your company, because this is not mine, this is his. I'm just being the face and directing everything, and that's just how I move. But when it comes to New York Fashion Week Plus, it was like there was no support, and I'm very blunt with it, no support.
Yeah.
And still making it happen.
That's amazing. So tell me a bit about the Brandee J talk show. So like, what issues do you think are important to discuss? What names do you like featuring on your show, and why?
So the Brandee J talk show has evolved over the last 5 years. It started off with just me doing red carpet correspondent for the magazine, because I didn't have anyone else to do it. And my mom was like, you went to media school, Brandee, like, just stop. Like, I sent you to media school for like 6 years. So just get up, you know, this is what you do. So I just started going on red carpets. I was like, I got this, going on there. I had another talk show at the time with the co-host, and everyone was like, you need your own show. And I was like, no, let me just do this. And then that didn't pan out. And then I turned, you know, I started doing more sit-down interviews for the magazine. And then people were like, you need to brand this as your own show. So I did Luxe Kurves TV with Brandee J, and then it just evolved into the Brandee J talk show. And my show is really about the everyday woman. And that is one of the major reasons why I got picked up by OVA Media Group, where my fifth season's airing at this week. It's because the owner, Cassandra Cooper, was like, you relate to every woman. Yeah. Like, you look like us, you talk like us, you just have a bigger platform because you created your platform. And that's when, even when I interview celebrities and they're like, you were just like the homegirl. I'm like, yeah. Like, this is the only way I know how to be is Brandee. Yeah. So I really wanted a show that talked about people's journeys, their struggles, how they overcame them, to inspire people. And when I have celebrities on the show or whoever, I say, look, I don't care about the drama and the gossip. I really don't, because I got my own shit and I don't need your shit on top of my shit. And I want people to see you as a human being and that understand that you deal with things, you have dealt with things, and how did you overcome them? That what makes you humanized to your followers, I feel like, because we have this facade that these celebrities are not human.
Yeah.
When in reality, they cry like we do, they go through pain like we do, they're human beings, and that is what the Brandee J talk show is about. And also giving a platform to business owners and also showing them that you have someone for you that wants you to succeed. So let's get you on this show. Let's talk about what you've overcame and things like that. And let's show everyone that, that little Black girl, that little Latina, that little anyone, that you can look like me and be on this platform and talk to people.
Yeah, and I mean, that actually brings me to my next question, is that you've done this all yourself. You've kind of built, like you said, you've built your platform from scratch. So, and you've also succeeded in so many different areas: TV, fashion, publishing, business. So my question is, first of all, how do you manage to succeed in so many different areas? And what would your advice to be for other aspiring female entrepreneurs? The little Black girl who watches your show and wants to be you when she grows up.
I was been told as a child, even my mom and dad was like, you were just different. Brandee, she can't do something. Oh, I can't? I can show you better than I can tell you. And that's just always been my philosophy in life and in business. I don't need to broadcast what I'm going to do. I'm just going to show you. People said, no one wants to see your curvy tattoo girl with the ponytail braids on TV. Oh, okay. I'll just create my own platform. And that's what I did. No one wants to see curvy women with luxury and traveling. And okay, let me just create my own. And that's just how I am. You tell me I can't do something, I'm going to show you I can. And I've just always been, I was told I was just very determined as a child and growing up. Even in, it started young. It started me being the youngest. It started even in high school. I went to a high school that was, primarily like Mexicans, Filipinos, sprinkle Black, sprinkle white. And I succeeded in being in sports and succeeded in being senior class vice president and ASB. Like, I had everything against me. But when you have a good spirit and people see that you don't see color or race, you're just doing it for them, that's what it's all about in business. And that's a piece of advice I will tell all business women. For one, you're going to have people who are going to tell you what you can't do. Yeah. I have family members who till this day tell me I can't do something. And it baffles me. And my mom was like, you don't see all the shit she's done? Like, no. Yeah. But you will have people tell you what you can and cannot do. And you just have to brush it off and keep going. If this is your vision and your purpose, it has to mean something. I always tell people when I do business coaching, if you're just getting in for the money, you're not going to succeed. You'll succeed for a little bit, but it's not going to prolong. It's not going to go anywhere because there's no foundation. Where's your foundation? Where is your purpose? And that is what I always tell any entrepreneur. Make sure your business has a purpose, because once your business has that purpose, then you're going to go so much further. And that purpose will always be your drive and the fuel to your fire. Because if money is the fuel to your fire, I feel sorry for you. Yeah. I really feel sorry for you. And because there's more to life than that.
Yeah. Great. Okay. And then, so from your Boss's Brunch to the State of a Black Woman panel, you've launched a series of events aimed at empowering women and celebrating Black womanhood. So tell me a little bit about those events, why you think it's important to host events like these, and what's the feedback you've received from attendees?
For the Bosses Brunch, that's with my business partner, Keisha Waters.
Okay.
She does the Move in LA and out in LA. And how that came about, it was so I met her, I think it's been 5 years. And I met her through, I went on Eventbrite looking for events for the magazine to cover, found her event, did my media pitch, and she said, she contacted me back and she was just like, something about your email just stood out. And then we ended up having a 2-hour conversation. And then I went to her show, and then she was like, you're going to drive up from San Diego to go to my show and then come back? I said, yeah, because the show's in LA. And I was like, well, yeah. And to her, she was like, that was, you know, she was really impressed with my drive and my hustle. And then our relationship started to evolve. And that's when we said we wanted to do something together to show people that 2 Black women in their fields, fashion, media, and everything can come together and work together.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, there's no competition, you know, and educate one another and open up, like she's opened up my eyes to so many things. I opened up her eyes to so many things with plus size. Like that is what sisterhood is about. So the Bosses Brunch, we had, you know, issues getting it started and things like that because we were just so busy, and then it just came together. And our first one, we didn't have no big PR. We didn't have anything like that. And I did all the media pitching, you know, and we got Maxine Waters to come. And she said, how could I not come and support 2 Black women doing something great for the community and showing other Black women, you can do this. Yeah. You don't need the competition. No one has time for the drama and things we see on reality TV. Yeah. And that's why I don't have the energy for it. So that's how the Bosses Brunch came. And it was just magnificent. And we were, you know, obviously due to COVID, we had to postpone this year's 2020 to next year in 2021. And it's an amazing event. Just, you know, for people to see 2 Black women coming together and putting on an amazing event. And then the State of the Black Woman, I was just like, we need to do something. And I was led, obviously, spiritually to do it. And it's just something about talking about issues that affect us, no sugarcoating. I feel like when there's issues about Black women, and a lot of people on TV, they like to sugarcoat it. No, this is how I feel. This is what I go through. We need to do more as Black women versus saying we're about sisterhood. And then one time you don't like someone's hair or anything like that. And I always tell people, if it doesn't affect my money, my family, or my partner, why do I care?
Yeah.
Why do I care how this other sister looks or lives if it's not directly affecting me? Yeah. So that is why when it comes to these events, it's about just showing women of color, we just need to come together and empower one another. We're greater together than we are apart. And that's the core purpose of those events.
Amazing. Okay, and then for my final question, what do you have, any future projects on the horizon, anything you working on or thinking of doing?
I'm always thinking about doing something. So I have my book, The Unshakable Curvy Confidence. That's going to come out next year. I've been writing it for 3 years and procrastinating. Like I wrote it. And then I have my S. Jane swimsuit line that I've been working on. We're going to, you know, the 5th season of the talk show on Over Media Group. It's just amazing. You know, you go to over-tv.com and that's where the season's premiering. And I have so many great things coming up with the magazine. So just evolving and pushing the envelope, getting through this COVID, which, you know, 2020 still has been an eye-opening year for me in so many ways. But I'm ready, you know, it's been the planning year. And then 2021 is the action year.
No, exactly. That's a great way to look at it. Like a lot of people are just using this time to, instead of seeing it as negative, using it as a way to rebuild and think and find time. To rebuild. And 2020 has opened up people's eyes to, you know, it opened up my eyes in a lot of ways to people, personal and business wise, you know. So for me, it's more like, that's how I had to look at it. And then I even, like one day I was complaining to my 10-year-old who's a damn genius. And I was just like, 2020 is a terrible year. He's like, no, Mom, in 536 AD. I said, what?
He was like, there was no sun for a year, and there was famine, and then there was no food, and my 10-year-old's telling me this, and I'm like, well, let me just shut up and stop complaining then.
Wow, that's a great way of looking at it.
That was the worst year on record. Like, I was like, okay.
He is a genius.
Like, I was just like, okay, thank you, baby. Shut up. I won't complain no more.
Maybe tell me a bit about your swimsuit line, actually, because that sounds really interesting.
So, S. Jane is after my grandmother. Her name, she passed away over 18, 19 years ago, and her name is Sarah Jane. And I didn't find that out to her funeral, and I was just like, and I was her favorite, like, you know, and I'm like, why didn't y'all tell me my grandma's middle name was Jane? And I was like, she didn't like it. I said, Sarah Jane, and I was like, and then she's like, my brand is based after my grandmother, outspoken, curvy woman who didn't take no shit from nobody. She lived her life to her fullest to how she wanted to live. And that's what I feel like all curvy women should be. And she was dipped in diamonds and furs. Like, that was like my childhood, you know? So I have 2 of her furs in my closet, like, you know, so, and I just love it, you know? So S. Jane swimsuit wear, it's going to be a swimsuit wear that just embraces women. And it just shows that we are stylish. We love to have fun. And we can rock a 2-piece, a 1-piece, and just be confident and sexy. And, you know, that's what the S. Jane swimwear is about. It's just empowering women to be like, you know, because back in the day, in my younger years, you know, all my friends would tell you, Brandee's wardrobe consists of a bikini top and a mini skirt. You couldn't tell me nothing. Thick legs, small waist, Coca-Cola, you know, I was like, this is my body. And I was just like, rocking it. And and I'm curvy, you know, young, curvy, and, you know, I didn't care. And, you know, then when I was dating guys, they were just like, yeah, you know, and that's where the passion came from. Like, okay, well, I've been doing this since I was 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You know, that span time, just being me and loving my curves and loving my body. And that's what I want. That is what the S. Jane swimwear is going to be about.
Amazing. Well, honestly, best of luck with all of your future projects. I mean, if your past is anything to show, it's all going to be successful. So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And it was an honor talking to you. I'm really excited to write this article now.
Thank you. I really enjoyed this interview. Thank you so much.
Of course. And thank you for your time. Have a good rest of the week.
You too. Be safe.
You too. Bye-bye.